What up, though, family? You're the only other person that have dope tunes on their lives that I get jealous of.
Yo, let me tell you something.
From you, you played like a week ago. It was crazy, a throwback song.
Well, you know, we've been really catering. So I started this show. Welcome to the show, Jalen Rose, Hall of Famer, All-Star. You got busy.
Thank you, family.
No. One thing I can tell you about Jalen Rose, because I hated you for a while because you was against my Knicks. You got busy.
Thank you.
And you came in every night and you worked hard every night.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what? I didn't get all of the awards, but if you knew where I live and how many zeros I got in my bank account, I got all of the rewards. Shout out to T Grizzly. Thank you guys very much. And 2 careers. See, here's what happens, Joe. And we do this to each other too. We try to act like only like 4 or 5 black people are successful and are champions in their career. So at what you do, like we brothers, and I love you, and you're doing a great job transitioning to multimedia, but I'm a fan of yours, dog. You've been on like 25, 30 years. I remember when you and Pun did that verse with Snoop right after the East-West Coast beef. That was like,
all right, this is a joker moment. That's how we single-handedly, shout out to Breon. Breon, not for nothing, Breon, you battled Ty last night with the old school music. You kind of got smoked, Breon. I ain't gonna lie to you, he killed you. But it was amazing. So now, we kind of bridged the East Coast, West Coast gap with that. And we squashed the beef. And then I asked Snoop to be in the video. He got in the video. And then that just further let everybody know New York and LA can work together. Shout out to Mac 10 and them. And, you know, I won't go too far. Right, Jalen? And I've never said this before. And this is damn. This is a joker moment. But Fat Joe is possibly the only New York East Coast guy who actually went to war physically with the West Coast. Physically. I'll leave it at that. After that, they called for a peace summit in Farrakhan's house. I'm going to give you another joker moment. They invited all the New York rappers. The only ones who showed up was Fat Joe and Dougie Fresh. When we got there, the whole fucking West Coast was in there. Anybody you name. Mac 10, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, DJ Quick, the whole shit. Das Corrupt, everybody was in there. And I spoke up. Because I don't need, you understand what I'm saying, Jalen? I don't need a posse. I don't need I'm ready to die at any time. And so I go in there and I had words with them and I told them, and I'm going to tell you something. I had told, and I love him, and God bless him, but I had told Ice Cube, when he left NWA, he came to New York to make his album.
Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad made his album. I remember when he performed at the Apollo, we sung every word. And I'm like, yo, Cube, you can't possibly be trying to divide East Coast and West Coast. We love you. Like,
right.
I was so mad. Because, I mean, okay, Mac 10 was saying West Side and all that. Okay. but Cube. So I'm like, and from that day, that's where I met Mac 10. He said, man, I love you. You're a real one. He said, come out to LA. And I had beef. Like, I mean, beef. Like, I mean, they wanted to kill me in LA. There's just no, I got to write that in the book. They wanted to kill me and on sight. And so I went out there to shoot this movie with him, Thicker Than Water. And the second I got there, Mac 10 came to the hotel and he said, listen, brother, they want to kill you. Once I'm in LA, at this time I didn't even fly, I went in the tour bus. I went with 9 of my strongest guys, right? We were strapped beyond belief, right? So, but I wanted to prove to him I wasn't a punk, so I went out there to shoot the movie. Brother, when I tell you every single day they came and said, yo, stay in the stay in the what you call it, stay in the trailer. Somebody might possibly turn the corner and shoot up the trailer. People want to get at me. Bad.
So
I'm not going to continue the rest of the story, but thank God, 2020, we are completely in peace. And the whole shit is dumb to me anyway. East Coast, West Coast.
yes,
We all black people, brown people.
yes.
We all American. That shit never made no sense when you really think about it. And I love them, and we're family. Like the Snoop Dogg hits me every day. Thank God. He's my brother. But it's like I went through some shit making that movie.
You did. You did.
You have to put hands on people. We have to do all type of shit we don't want to do. You know, and to this day, Inglewood is my family in LA. Mac 10, OG Muggs, the Inglewood. That's me. So,
no doubt. And
yeah.
but here's the thing. So a lot of young artists hear terms and don't realize that those terms that relate to crews become rap artists, not the other way around. So I remember being a young hip hop fan and coming to New York and realizing that BDP was for Boogie Down Productions, but they could also be Beat Down Productions.
Oh yeah, they had I just watched my Unsung, right? But I really got to talk to you. I mean, this is fascinating.
Right?
No, this is fascinating, but
right?
I got to talk sports with you, but the Terror Squad.
That's where I was going. That was next. I was going to you. Hold on. Let me just say one thing before you go. Because everybody gets to see the in-shape Fat Joe and all of these cars with suicide doors and all of that. Like, I'm happy that you so very rich and you so accomplished and you such an adult and you such a leader in our community. I want to use you as an example of growth because I remember that the Terror Squad meant just that. It meant just that. Like, you guys are really good rappers and you guys had so many bars. And Big Pun, rest in peace to the legend. I love him.
Bless.
And you put so many people in the game. We'll talk about that later. But at the same time, it wasn't just like, oh, okay, you're going to disrespect on Wax, and then you're going to come to New York and do a show. That was not happening. And one last thing, you talked about the LA part. I remember when you located to Florida, too. Because I started living down there around the same time. And let me just tell you something. There was one time I was leaving a spot, Washington Boulevard, bed, and I was kind of slipping. I can't even front. This is the truck, jewels, everything. And I walked down the corner. I thought I was going to jump a cab. And a couple of cats thought I was slipping. They was about to walk up on me. You don't remember this. You got out the car. You got out the car. Walked like 50 steps like, he's good. He with me. You probably don't even remember this, dog.
Hey, let me tell you something, Jalen, but it sounded like Fat Joe. And I care about my people so much and I respect my people so much that I'm willing to put my life on the line for it.
You did it that day. You did it that day. You got out of the car. I didn't say one of your homies. I didn't say somebody in your crew. I'm walking down the street, and anybody know about the bling bling era when we was walking 2 chains, 2 watches, 2 bracelets. I was slipping. It was 2:30 in Miami.
Yo, Jalen, let me tell you something.
Bed, going to get in the cab.
Let me tell you something. It never was the crew. I never let nobody do nothing for me. I never told nobody, yo, go beat that guy up or this or this. It always had to be me. And I'll tell you why. Y'all want to hear a real street jewel? Because Jalen's, I try to talk basketball. He trying to turn this into, that's good. That's why you one of the greatest journalists, one of the greatest commentators. It's really good what you're doing here, right? But I really don't give a fuck, so I'll tell the people. You may have homies that are capable of doing anything, and I don't want to scare the public. They could become violent in 1 second, and especially rap artists and the youth, if y'all want to listen. Everybody becomes successful, and all of a sudden the tough guys hang out with them. And by choice or by extortion, however, they find it, and all of a sudden
a lot of people claiming people that they paying every month. Go ahead, please continue.
And so they say, yo, homeboy got booty boo with him, man. He's this and he's that. And I'm like, yeah, all right? So me, although I had guys that are fly, I literally, and I'm not going to lie to you, I literally have had guys that would jump off the roof if I told them to. No bullshit. It's a lot of power.
I know this.
I moved out of New York because I was actually too powerful. And I said to myself, this is going to end up bad. Someone throws a paper towel at Fat Joe, they're going to kill the whole Madison Square Garden. I got to get out of here. I work too hard to be legit, to take care of my family, to this. I can't do it, right? But a real leader never sends his people to get locked up or suicide missions. And at that, these so-called tough guys can't wait to do something for you so they can hold it over your head for the rest of your life.
Forever.
That's why I've never let no so-called
you remember
tough
20 years ago, 30 years ago, that night of February 14th, I did this for you? Dog, you owe me. I know you with your son, your daughter, your wife, your mom, your grandma, but dog, can you wire me this? You ain't keeping it real. You ain't holding it down, Fat Joe.
That shit over. And for me, I've never been extorted in my life. And I'll tell you one story that Lisa, I love you. The first Latina
I love
ever
her
to do
too.
R&B to ever listen, Lisa, man. I want to give you your flowers. You opened the door. You was before J-Lo. You was before Rosie Perez. You were the biggest superstar, and you still are. But thank you for checking up on the show, Lisa. I love you. And I got to have you on the show soon. And Jalen, if you allow me to. And Jalen, where we was at just before I seen Lisa, I lost my mind. I wonder if I take you home.
Just so you know, I do that all of the time. It happens.
But what I'm saying, Jalen, what was the story I was about to tell? What I was telling them?
So we were talking about.
Oh, you owe me, and this and this and that. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. There's 2 things that never happened to me. And please, everybody, don't hate me and think I'm lying to you. Don't Jalen Rose got me talking some super real shit, and it might be even too real for the Fat Joe show, but I'm going to kick it to you. Two things I've never been. The main one is approach to ever rat anybody in my life. The police has never even offended me by saying, Joe, do you know what happened? Or Joe, did your man? They've never offended me by asking me to be a rat and tell. They know this is old school. Throw him in the cell. He not going for shit. Like, leave him alone. His lawyer be here in an hour, whatever. Thank God I've never been approached in my life to be disgusted. Number two, I've never been extorted in my life. So, and what I'm trying to tell you is, an extortion, guys, is totally a regular thing in the rap community.
Yes.
When you see these guys, you think that there's friend, the mass murderer, Zelo, and that's all bullshit. They in their pockets. Now, Jalen, Raul, I love you. One day, Jalen, I can't tell you where. One day, I got 100 guys with me. I'm in a club in New York. 100 is a minimum, right? I walk in the bathroom. This might be too crazy. So, Jalen, you know you ought to stop me if I'm going too bad.
You're not going too crazy. I got to remind you something. We're the same age. I've been at multiple places with Fat Joe and Terror Squad in New York City, Los Angeles, California, and Miami, Florida. Please continue.
Yeah, but I don't want to scare people because I've been about positivity. In a second, Khaled's gonna jump up on here and stop me. Listen, I got 100 guys with me, literally 100. I walk in the bathroom. There's a cock diesel Spanish Puerto Rican guy. He's taking a piss. The bathroom has a mirror, nothing. I walk up. I go to take a piss. I'm by myself. 100 outside the door. So be careful. People think they tough. This happened to me when I got shot too. You might have 100 guys, but when you turn that corner, you by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When Roy Jones was going to beat me up, I had 150 guys. I turned that corner. I was by myself when Roy said, you want to fight?
I remember that.
Hey, I had 150 guys. I turned the corner by myself.
Roy was playing basketball games and fighting on the same day.
You want to fight? So I go, and I ain't going to lie. Roy Jones would have beat me up. But listen.
But that was a hit record, dog.
That was a hit record. I love Roy Jones. But look, so I walk in the bathroom, cock diesel. Looked like he came from jail 1 day ago. So he looks to me, he goes,
1 day ago.
No, for real. You know
right.
When them guys look like they just came home? and I'm pissed. He was like, oh my God, just the guy I've been looking for. Yo, Nori, you got to hear this one. He was like, just the guy I've been looking for. And I said, really? What's up, my brother? How you doing? He said, no. He said, I did 10 years. I said, oh, word? 10 whole years. He was talking to me mad, like it's almost my fault or whatever. 10 years in the
judge.
Listen, like I'm the judge. So I'm like, word? And he was like, and I've been reading these magazines. I think you're a liar. I said, excuse me? He said, I read these magazines. They talk about how you some tough guy, ex-drug dealer, you beat people up. I don't believe you. Right? So I'm by myself in the back. I'm like, really? He said, and we could do this 2 ways. You could pay me, or I could get down with you however you want it. But I want mine. I did 10 years. So he was telling me, like, I got to extort him. I got to pay him because he did 10 years. I don't know this guy. So I
And
look
he
at
don't
the
know
guy.
you clearly.
I look at the guy, Jalen, and it was like Zen. I got so happy. I said, wow, I've finally been approached to be, wow.
I'm a normal human being. I'm a civilian.
Listen, Jalen, I said, I'm a human being. Wow, this is great. Yo, Jalen.
Normal human being. He doesn't know,
Jalen, I'm going to tell you
know
something.
anything about my history or anything.
I'm going to tell you a secret, Jalen. The Terror Squad, they talk shit about me every day. Every one of them. Fuck Joe. He got all the money. He don't care. He don't this. All of them. They're all my brothers. They'll talk shit in my face. They'll talk shit behind my back. They'll tell their wife. They all talk shit. It's cool. I didn't know, but like somebody was doing the number 2 and the door opened. Now, let me tell you something, Jalen. It's one thing to disrespect. They could disrespect me all day. But to hear a person disrespect Joe, the Don Carter Jr., it's so different. It's like, so my man, I'll tell you who it is, Serge, DJ Serge. The door cracks open. Remember, it's a mirror. The door cracks open from the, what we call that? The shitter, whatever. Store. And he's holding on. These guys are animals, Jalen. He's holding on to the wall like, and his tears in his eyes. Like, he couldn't believe this guy was talking to me like that. He was like, you know when you scream inside when you can't hear it? And he's like, and we whipped this dude's ass, bro. So bad. Hey, Jalen, this guy drank fucking the water from the toilet.
Ooh. So
he got so washed. I had never seen him. He learned something in that bathroom.
So I have to ask you an important question. So thank you everybody for joining. I don't mean to interview Fat Joe on his own platform, but we're the same age and he's a legend. So I have to ask him questions because you guys get a chance to see a mature, disciplined, responsible, money in the bank, life insurance. You know, he has a will. Like that guy. And so I appreciate the growth, but I have to ask questions because there are so many people that are where you used to be and hope to grow there. And you're a great example to me. And so I want to ask you this. How were you able to transition from being an artist that had like #1 records, like anthems, but you were just as known for who you were away from being an artist? Can you give encouragement to the young people and show them that they can graduate from the street life and chase their art and kind of be a beacon for entertainment the way you've become?
Shout out to the legend, the living legend, Melba Moore on the check-in. Miss Melba Moore, you are a legend.
No doubt. Melba Moore here? Yo, that's
Melba Moore's on here. She's
dope.
A legend. She is an icon, and I love you.
I do too. I know who that is as well. Dope.
Now, Jalen, I'm going to tell you something. I've always been a sweetheart. I've always been a nice guy. And I really want my audience, everybody, to understand this. When I grew up in the Bronx, I was telling my daughter this the other day. I was so smart. They had me in a class called IGC, Intellectual Gifted Child. And I wasn't the smartest. I was always #2. There was this girl I used to compete with. Her name was Candace Stallings, and she would win every time. but I was the runner-up. I would have been a nice guy anywhere else. Where I grew up in an all-black neighborhood. I had blonde hair like the Beatles and green eyes. When I look at the pictures with me and 50 black kids and Fat Joe, the only Spanish one looking like a Beatle, I don't know how the hell my mother had me in this neighborhood. No, I swear to God. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Ain't this the elephant in the room? Like,
because you can hold your own. Because you can hold your own.
Listen. But nobody ever treated me. This is the problem. This is why I try to tell woke and so-called woke society. Jalen, I'm not lying to you. Do your history. I'm from the soil. I'm the bottom of, I'm with my people. And what they need to understand is I grew up, nobody ever treated me like he's the white boy with green eyes or the Spanish guy. That's Joey. And they love me to this day. I could go back with $1 million jury in the middle of my projects and spend the night on a bench and they would protect me. It's my hood.
That's dope. That means more than anything in life.
Jalen, so I go like this. I got bullied. I went to school in another neighborhood. Ain't like my neighborhood. They didn't even understand me. I'm going to keep it real with you. We keeping it too real here. You know, so I grew up 99% black. I grew up Joey. Everybody knows who I am. But I get in trouble. They make me go to school by my grandmother's block. Now, if there's a such thing as 100% black, it's there. So I go to Washington and Webster Avenue. Y'all know what I'm talking about, BX. Y'all watching, y'all know what I'm talking about. Never been a Spanish dude to have juice in that neighborhood. To this day, there's never been one Spanish guy that you could say, yo, Spanish Ricky had juice up. Nah, bro. I go to school, junior high school, V-bomber hat to the back. I'm diddy bopping. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's good? They like, oh, wait a minute. We've never seen this. We're not having this.
But Joe, you also had weapons and other things with you as well.
I'm telling about Junior, but the point is, okay. I got beat up every single day. Anybody who's watching here and went to junior high school with Fat Joe, you saw me get my ass whipped every single day by 20 guys.
20?
20. It was like, yeah, let's go beat up Joey again. If you look at my Thanksgiving picture, anything you want to fucking look at, I had a black eye and a big lip. They abused me. But let me tell you something, Jalen. I went out there every day and I fought the 20 guys by myself. I punched the toughest one in his face first, and they will pound me out. And I keep it moving. And that taught me, I didn't know, because God, unfortunately, everybody has a different path.
And youngsters out there, snuff the big one means I'm going to hit the toughest one, the loudest one, as hard as I can.
Raul, I love you. And you know it's true.
I'm going to roll out means if I have to bounce and run, I'll do that too.
It means knuckle up. So I would go get beat up and then go home or whatever, right? And so the point is, it turned me into who I was. I'll tell you another story that I never told nobody. This is a beyond Joker moment. It's in my book. I don't want to spoil it, but fuck it. We talking real shit. I had a best friend. His name was Leonard. My mother fed him every lunchtime. He was my brother. He was in the school with me. One day, the 20 kids stopped him. And they stopped me. And they tell him, Leonard, why are you with this guy all the time? He's a punk, he's pussy, whatever. And Leonard said, he's my friend. And they told him, you better jump him with us, or we gonna fuck you up every day like we do him. And my boy Leonard jumped me with them.
No. It's crazy because we get approached with stupid stuff like that. Like in Detroit, I had things that I was approached with like that as well. And he agreed to it.
He folded, he beat me up with them. And let me tell you something, Len. Let me tell you something, Jalen. I'll never forget that day. I went home and I cried for about 12 hours straight.
Yeah, because they lumped you up and one of the dudes you thought was your man.
My brother I love. Listen to me, Jalen. I went home and I cried 12 hours straight.
I've been lumped up.
No, but it's so much betrayal.
I've been lumped up a couple of times. I know exactly what you mean.
Jalen, I had a black hood on, black jeans, and some chuckers, Timberland chuckers. And I tied my shoestring over 1,000 times, and I cried for hours. And I said, that's it. No more. I don't care about nobody. I don't care about human life. It is over. And that day, the legend of Joey Crack, Terror Squad, began. They forced me. I went through a lot to be a nice kid, to be a smart kid. I forgot to tell you, I got skipped 2 classes from 7th to 9th grade. 2 grades. And they forced me. And then I didn't care. And the more devastation I created, the more power I had, the more people influenced, the more people this, and I start robbing. I don't want to glorify that, right? But Raul knows. Billy knows. Raul knows. Billy knows. Billy was in my first homeroom. The first day of high school, I walked to my high school with 300 guys. Remember, I was getting my ass whipped in junior high. High school, I walked to the first day orientation with 300 guys behind me. And everybody looked like, who's that? And I heard the girl say, who's that? And it was like, Joey Crack, TS. Joey Crack, TS. Oh, my God. Yo, and I'm walking through there, and I don't want to tell you what happened. We beat everybody up first day because we didn't care. And that was what you would call going viral. It wasn't social media. It wasn't video. It wasn't. That went viral around the Bronx. Like, yo, there's this Spanish kid.
Joe, you didn't go viral.
300 guys with him.
You want reality, sir.
Huh?
You have 300 people walking behind them to do whatever.
No, we went
you
viral.
Want reality.
In the early 80s, it was not. So I went through so much, right? When I went into the rap game, so I left, I was pretty. And I'm not lying, guys in the Bronx, y'all can front if y'all want. We was doing really well in the streets. All my friends, Billy Blanco caught 20 years, the Pure Energy crew.
From the Bronx.
The Willis Lynch mob, the Cypress crew, everybody was going to jail. They created the RICO law. Everybody was going to jail for like 60 years, 20 years. Oh, my best friend is doing life.
And those charges was dumb as hell. Please continue.
They still in jail, right? So I changed my life. I said, I'm going to be a rapper. All my whole life, I was a gangster, one of the most respected. All these gangsters I was going up to was laughing at me. Rapper, you ain't going to be no fucking rapper, especially you Spanish. Ain't no Spanish. Are you on drugs, Joe? I said, look, I don't want nothing to do with the drug game. I'm going to go legit. I went to Apollo Theater. I won 4 weeks in a row. And then I got...
Whoa. So here's what happens, and you almost did it. You are such a street legend. You make us overlook your rap accomplishments. Just think about what you just said. You won Apollo multiple times in a row. I've been to Apollo.
Oh,
I don't mean to show my age. I've been a Detroit kid buying a ticket at the Apollo, sitting in the Apollo, and they do not play.
oh no. They do not
They
play.
do not play. They don't
So-
like your fingernails. They don't like your hairstyle. They don't like the first word you say. Like, that's the toughest crowd in my life.
And what I'm trying to tell you is, I am blessed. I try to look back to Apollo and say, why did I win? Like, I walked in there and it was 100 groups. And I remember looking at them. I said, these guys ain't got a chance. And I walked out. Shout out Michelle, Barbara, everybody for my backup dancers from I had a song that was called He's a Big Shot. Fat Joe is a big shot. He's a big shot.
I gotta tell you something. Rest in peace to Heavy D. That's my brother. I love him. I was actually in Atlanta with him maybe 30 days before he passed away, and I love him. That's my brother. He always had hits. The Overweight Lover. You were a street version of him to people that didn't live in New York. So you were able to give like those big radio suburban kids like records, but you also had like the street cred that it was like, hey, you know what? Joe Crack, if he's unhappy and you coming to do a performance in New York, then you might get rushed off stage. That happened with BDP and PM Dawn.
Yeah,
You were the
God
next
bless
verse,
PM
dog.
Dawn, and I love them too, but KRS my idol, he ran them off.
Right? You
But
were
let
the
me
next
explain.
verse.
I want to tell you something, Jalen. Fat Joe is a cheap version of Heavy D.
I just discovered something.
Let me
Am I
tell
the
you
first
something.
person to ever say that to you?
No, yes, you are, but I even told Puff, I tell everybody, Heavy D inspired me so much.
I knew that. You the gangster Heavy D. I've been saying that for 25 years.
I dress like him. I want to style like him. I make girl records like him. I used to do the Heavy D dances. I'm going to tell you something. I came out with my first single, Flow Joe.
Let it flow, Joe. Let it flow, Joe.
I came out with Flow Joe. And I was at a party. It was at Tavern on the Green. Another bathroom moment. I was taking a piss. And I turned around and it's holy shit.
Hey, yo, you don't care about this, but as somebody that's not from New York, I came to New York. It was some black, Spanish, brown, so many different languages, women. I was like, yo, I just want to kick it with somebody that don't speak English. That was my goal. Please continue.
Jalen, so I turned around, it's Heavy D in the bathroom. And he looks at me and says, you got to flow, Joe. You got to flow, Joe. And I was like, that broke me down. I was like, oh my God, Heavy D knows me. And I hung out with him that night and we went to eat dinner. And he was just such a great guy. He was my friend till he died.
He's a legend.
Oh, no. Fat Joe was a wannabe Heavy D.
So how about this? There are like 500 million MCs. If I compare you to Heavy D, it kind of means that I'm paying attention to Fat Joe and Heavy D. And so what I want to ask you is, how were you able to continue? And by the way, I love you. You my brother. I'm on your feed. But like,
we the biggest in the game, but go on.
Yes, but like your validity for people in the street allowed them to come to New York and do shows and make records. Mm-hmm. How, for you, was it to balance between being a person that was able to stop people from doing shows in New York City? Joe, I know this. I love you. You my
Man,
brother.
it was a time.
You're
It
handsome.
was a time.
You got a great beard. You got a great hairline. You my brother. I love you. You're not encouraging anything negative. I'm just saying. I'm just acknowledging your growth. So how was it from being that
I
guy?
tell you something. 50 Cent's my brother. I love him. He's a good friend. We squashed our beef. But when 50 Cent sold 30 million records and was the hottest guy in the world, he wasn't allowed. You never heard his record in a club in Miami. It wasn't allowed.
Oof.
So while it was going, what up, blood? Boom. What up, this? What up?
What up, gangsta?
When he was the hottest guy, Michael Jackson, they would not play his record in the city of Miami. On the radio or in the clubs.
So that's you guys' viral clip forever. Please continue.
But 50's my brother and I love him.
Me too.
Ever since we made the bond, rest in peace, Chris Lighty, we have been brothers. And so that's over. But at the time, it was warfare. 50 Cent stopped a lot of my money too when we was warring. I was going to be the first rapper to have a Jordan sneaker.
No.
I met with Michael Jordan maybe 6, 7 times. You could confirm, you know them. Reggie, you know Larry Miller, everybody.
Yeah.
We were designing the sneaker.
That's the crew.
We were designing the sneaker. I had meetings with nobody else but Michael Jordan. When that beef blew up, you know Michael Jordan is real clean cut. And he said, Joe, you know I love you, Big Joe, but you too hot right now. Like this controversy and this and that, we can't do the sneaker no more. I had to handle that.
Joe, that took like a lot of figures out of your pocket, Joe. How did you deal with that, sir?
Oh, I dealt with all that forever, man. With me, I'm just
that's like
you don't want beef with 50 Cent.
And I see a $20 bill, I might push somebody out of the way for it. But Joe, you lost like $10 million on that deal, sir.
I lost a lot more.
I know how these numbers work.
And now so I'm gonna tell you the entry level. I become an artist. I never bullied my way or anybody to do a song with me or put pressure on anybody. I earned it musically. Whatever hit I made, I earned it. I made it myself. Nobody gave me hits. I made it myself. Exactly. But because I had this reputation coming from the streets and all that, people were scared of me in the industry.
Can I tell you something, Joe? So you can sleep so good tonight. You can sleep so good tonight. You can turn on your steam shower. You can turn it on as hot as you want. Put your vapors in there, all of that. Can I tell you something?
Yes, sir.
You earned it.
All right. Listen to what I'm saying, though, Jalen.
All right.
Because I want to get back to the original question.
No.
This for like 20 minutes.
No. This is your platform. I want to give you some therapy. I love you. You're a king. You got a great beard. You're handsome. You got great teeth. I want to just tell you something. You earned it, dog. Like, you helped shift a New York artists from representing Miami. I played with the Knicks in the mid-2000s, and I got traded to the Raptors and got a crib in Toronto so I could save on my taxes. You were the first person that was living in Miami from New York. I saw all of New York come to Miami and Florida after you did. I was eating at Joe's Crab and staying at the that pink building at the end of the road. At the end of I don't even remember.
Little Wayne used to live there. I know where.
Yeah. So you were the first person. So I love you and appreciate your humility, but also you earned the respect that you garner. You earned it, sir. You earned it.
Thank you so much, my brother. But let me explain something to you. So when I came in the industry, I tried so much to be the nicest guy because I knew people were scared of me. And there was other guys that I knew wasn't tough that were throwing their weight around in the industry. And I had to like ignore these guys because I knew, yo, these guys, they ain't see I seen 3, you know, the monsters, the Loch Ness monsters. I was in the street fighting against snakes with 3 heads. Like that, my game wasn't fake, bro. My thing was like, you know, I had beef with guys that were rumored allegedly to burn babies in furnaces. I swear to God. You think I'm going to be scared of a rapper? Like, God bless. I'm swearing, though, on my mother. So I turn around and I go like this, Jalen. I say, so I'm trying to be a nice guy. And
Can I please add one thing to what you're saying, please?
Mm-hmm.
You're a terrific artist, and a great leader, and an amazing evaluator of talent. And I'm going to keep telling the public that we're the same age because I saw Joe the executive also, Joe the artist as well. And you helped create a different sound. You helped expand a brand. You just talked about the East and the West wasn't getting along. I was going to those Mike Tyson fights. I was living in Vegas and had like, I'll say this respectfully to all of our fans. Like, I'm rich. So like, I got a spot in Vegas. I got a spot in LA. I got a spot in Miami.
I'm not rich,
on the East Coast. So like, I've seen all of this mushroom, and you were like a heartbeat and the centerpiece of this. So for your fans that don't get a chance to see, like, and I know you don't want to relive like your past, like you're an OG. Like OGs don't want to relive their past. But what I would like to ask you, or at least get you to address, is you've influenced so many terrific artists to come in the game. And I feel like you helped influence the New York sound to kind of go to down south. So how do you feel about the growth of rap music as it's elevated to suburban and southern?
Well, we had a black president because of hip-hop music. We have a Black Lives Matter movement because of hip-hop music. So rest in peace, George Floyd. When you see the white and black people marching in the street, when you see the little girl, you ever seen that on Ball Alert where the little girl had a video where she's trying to explain to her dad about systemic racism and they talking crazy? Hip hop has influenced that girl. Hip hop has influenced the youth to come together in the white and black.
Not sports. I tell people all the time, it's hip hop. It ain't sports. These 50-year-old white people have to walk in the basement and listen to Fat Joe, Big Pun, whoever, and they listen to rap music, and they saying nigga, and their parents is like, what is happening right now?
So now, hip hop changed the world, right? And it brought people together. But I'm gonna tell you one thing about sports. We need to figure out, because I'm explaining to you, we may be at a Indiana game. Let's not say Indiana basketball game. Reggie Miller hits.
Even help it. You're such a New Yorker and Knicks.
No, listen.
You use the Indiana reference. You had to change it. I can't. No. You New Yorkers, boy.
Listen.
You can't even help it. You love your Knicks so much you can't even help it. Go ahead, man.
Jalen, anywhere, right? So you might be the leader of the Black Panther Party at the game, at a Giants game. There's a white guy standing next to you. They win a winning touchdown. The white guy turns to the black guy, high fives him. They hug each other. They drink a beer. This is the leader of the KKK. This is the leader of the Black Panthers. And because they love their team so much, sports. Hey, we done it all the time, right? Hug white people, everybody. Sports bring people together. The actual sports bring people together that would never be standing side by side.
Never.
Now we got to figure out how to make both people, once the game is over, continue to love each other and appreciate each other and respect each other. And so you seen the same where they go, you love my black sports, you love my culture, but you don't love me. You need to love me.
I said that. I wish America loved black people as much as it loves black culture.
So we seen change.
And that's a flagrant reality that you live, because you've been in the suburbs of 50 states and they're reciting your lyrics to the top of their lungs. And you look out into the crowd, and in order for Lean Back to go platinum, people saying it.
Listen, Jalen, I can tell you with my true heart, my inner soul, to God, I love everybody. If everybody loves me and they respect me, no matter who they are, whatever race, I love them. White, Chinese, whoever the hell you bring, gay, lesbian,
nobody
LGBT.
can ever accuse Fat Joe of not being inclusive. You always have. And by the way, the same dude that's inclusive can be unhappy with your behavior. So you validated that position. You don't have to explain it.
Jalen, did you hear recently this week that LeBron James said, Kid and Play, LeBron James said that his first choice in 2010 was to come to the Knicks?
I knew that. Me and you had this conversation. You came on Jalen Jacoby. I told you this. I told you he was coming to New York. You did a video and everything.
And the man said they stunk it up at the presentation, so he went to Miami. Now I am very optimistic about Worldwide West and the new team they got in there. Do you think this would change the DNA or whatever's been stinking us up for 20 years? This new management. Your guy ran the OKC. Like, what do you think, Jalen?
Yes, sir. So I'm jealous of your beard. It's awesome. I could never grow one. I
cut it myself, Jalen.
It looks great, fam. Your beard is dope.
This is one trade I picked up in quarantine.
I know your beard is dope. So
thank you.
The one thing I learned about like player movement to the Knicks in particular is that the Knicks are an attractive spot. People want to come and be a star in New York. And I'm going to give you some names that in the next couple of years, if they come play in New York, you'll be like, yo, it was 10 o'clock at night. I was on Fat Joe's IG Live, and I heard that. Yo, that was dope. I'm about to give you a couple of players. One of the players plays for Utah Jazz. His name is Donovan Mitchell.
The Spider. We had him on the show.
Right, the Spider. He lives in Greenwich, Connecticut. That's where he's from. And if you've ever been to New York or Connecticut, if you've ever been to Utah, they're vastly different.
Vastly. Good people in Utah, but vastly different.
They're just vastly different. Right?
You're funny.
Is that fair, OG? Is that...
I'm going to tell you a story which is not going to sit right with me, and I'll probably be mad at myself. I recently did a concert maybe a week before the COVID with Ja Rule, Ludacris, and we sold out 20, 30,000 people, and they showed so much love.
And thank you for showing Ja love. Like, I love 50, and he's a legend, and I watch Power, but I can't front. Y'all got to get off Ja.
Because no, Ja Rule's a living legend, an icon.
Yeah, like right,
more hits than anybody.
Hey, Ja, I ain't bugging, right?
Never. He got more hits. I don't want to battle Ja Rule.
Am I on a good corner? Am I on a good corner?
I do not want to battle Ja Rule on stage. I mean, he got more hits than
anybody.
He got
hits, dog.
But I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
Ja Rule did one of these versus battles.
Oh,
he got like J-Lo records, Ashanti
records.
He's
killing everybody.
DMX
I don't care what
records,
they say.
Jay-Z records.
Hey, let me tell you a secret. Ja Rule contacted me like, yo, Crack, do you want to battle on the verses? And I told him, I don't want no smoke.
You would have been Fab against Jada. I'm glad you said no. And that's my brother. You know I love Fab. His name is Fabulous. I'm Fab 5. The first time I met Fab, just so you know, I'm going to tell you something on your show.
This is a Joker moment. Let's go.
I'm going to tell you something on your show. Millionaire Jalen Rose was in Miami at bed. And I text Demetrius Flannery, who's from Southwest Detroit. And I'm from Detroit and went to Detroit Southwestern, who's my big brother, my OG. And he told me about Fab. I didn't even know about Fab. So I see him at bed in Miami. And I text Meech. And I'm like, yo, is these your peeps? You want me to do anything to make sure they good? And he hit me back. It was like, send him a bottle of Cristal. That's what Meech told me to do with Fab. I had never met him in my life. Okay?
Fab was extra cool with BMF.
Correct. And so Meech sent the text. I give Fab the double bottle of champagne. And he looking at me like I'm crazy because he never met me in life. He don't even know who I am. He don't, like, I know I play ball and I don't think I'm all that, but Fab ain't, I'll say this, I love you, Fab. He ain't the biggest sports fan. And so it was like.
Let me tell you about Fab. Fab is one of the greatest, most consistent to ever do it. I was a little upset with his play selection. Fab, if I was Fab, he fed into Jada, baiting him. No, go back to the streets. Let's switch this up. Yo. If I was Fab, I'd have played a hit. Jada
all
played
ladies.
The freestyle.
Fab should have went to the ladies.
All night long. I don't care what Jada Kiss is doing. I would have been like, word, Jada? That's the best of the DJ Clue tape? Okay. What's up? Like, I want to play with him. I would have just kept hit. But Fab is one of the greatest lyricists in the game.
Yeah, he is.
Fab wants that respect.
Bars.
He wants that respect he never got because we think of Fab, he's just a hit maker. So he wanted to go bar for bar record with that wasn't the game. Matches strategies make fights. What they say?
Styles make fights.
Styles make fights. Hey, Jada, love you. You're the greatest at that. You are by far the greatest.
I thought about something. I love you, Fat Joe. You're my brother. There's no reason why you and Mike Tyson shouldn't do a show. I need to connect you guys.
No, I already had Mike Tyson on the show.
Okay, cool. Because something you just said reminded me of Mike. And I'm like, that's my brother. You're my brother. Y'all need to connect.
Let me tell you something, Jalen. We've had Mike Tyson. We've had Jay Will. We've had Dr. Oz. We've had Ashanti. Lala. Adrian Bailon. We've had presidential.
I saw you with Lala.
Listen,
When
we
I saw
had
you with Lala,
presidential
I was like, you know what? I need to
candidates.
put Lala on my show.
Listen, presidential candidates, Andrew Yang and Cory Booker. We've had AOC on our show. We had Ari Melba.
I gotta ask you a controversial question, Doc. Fat Joe.
I don't know if I'm gonna pass on this one, but shoot.
Yes, sir. So you ready for this? This
Let's
is like right between the eyeballs. This is not street. This is not music. This is political. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm hesitating because it hurts my heart.
I want to hear it.
I wanted Cory Booker to be Joe Biden. What happened?
You like Cory Booker? I don't know what happened.
And I'm not putting it on you. I'm putting it on me or us because I can't front. I played in Chicago and met a young Barack Obama. So this is not like, oh, a fat Joe is responsible for getting Cory Booker to replace Barack Obama. But in my head, I met Barack Obama, and I was like, yo, I felt pride in helping him get in the office. But I also felt the same about Cory Booker.
Well, let me explain something to you. Cory Booker is one of the most articulate scholars in the world, cares about the black community. Been in Newark. When there was a fire in the house, he sacrificed himself and went to save the kid himself in a fire. Movie shit. Cory Booker did that.
He's a gentleman.
Cory Booker.
Because I can't lie. If I don't have your number in my phone, I'm not risking my life. I love you. I'm black, I'm brown, I'm white, or whatever.
I'm stupid. I'll do it. But listen.
Yeah. If I never told you I love you, I might not sacrifice my life for you. So congratulations, Cory Booker.
Yeah, Jalen, you crazy. So Cory Booker is all of the above, but Obama made the right choice getting Joe Biden because Joe Biden had experience. Obama probably wouldn't have won in them Pennsylvania towns, them coal miner towns, the middle of America.
Ohio.
That was Joe Biden. Joe Biden is from there.
Yeah.
So Joe Biden brought that to the table. And Joe Biden is so respected that when he said, we're going with the young Barack, it's almost like we said the scenario of hip hop.
That was
white folk.
The young Barack thing.
The white. No, that was the young Barack.
That was one of the stronger political statements in the history of black politics.
That was a young Barack. That Joe Biden, this man who's been on the Senate, but he stood beside him. It was no guarantee. It was no guarantee, Jalen. For sure, we knew Hillary was going to win. Joe Biden said, you know what? I'm with Barack. And that swayed it, the middle of America, to say, you know what? We're going to give this. Already, Barack Obama is the smartest, the greatest. He brings everybody together. But now, Joe, he brought that to the table.
Can I mention something that you may know because you're a G and a vet and a legend and you're an intellect. But also, I want to make sure that it's acknowledged. We need to vote for anybody against Trump.
That's a fact.
Right? So it could be
now that's a Ciroc moment.
Yeah. It could be hey, Puff could be like, I'm running Ciroc against Trump. We need to vote Ciroc. Right?
This man, his time is numbered if we go out and vote. But you got to understand, 3 days ago, he posted up white power. The president of the United States.
That was mean to us.
But let me explain something to you, Jalen. How should I have I just paid
that was rude.
Hey, I just paid my taxes today.
Me too. And just so you know, I haven't got my tax return.
You're not listening to me. I paid my taxes today, and I don't want to tell you what the number is. In the COVID, listen.
I'll tell you. I'm waiting on my $500,000 tax return, and all I know it keeps getting delayed.
No, but listen to what I'm saying. I paid my taxes today. Shout out to Almighty Rock Nation. I was on the phone with Dez, everybody. I paid my taxes today. And what I'm trying to tell you is, there's no reason me being a law-abiding U.S. Citizen should feel scared when the cops stop me. Scared if I do catch a case to ever beat the system or win, because the president is saying, fuck me. The president is saying, fuck us.
So, I got to tell you.
How can we believe anybody?
So, I got to tell you a couple of things, Joe Crack. So, number one, the president is not a fan of yours.
Oh, no.
What you're saying is true. So I would love to give you hope. I would love to give you wisdom. I would love to give you optimism. You have great verses. You have great albums. You have great bars. I'm a fan of your art. Like, I would love
to Jalen, look, Jalen. I see the Jadakiss statue behind you on the chair. Shout out to Kobe. That's
you
my
said
brother.
You gonna send me a picture of you and Big Pun.
I'm gonna give it to you. Yo, Jalen, talk to them because I've got to go to the bathroom 1 second. I don't want you to go nowhere.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll
hold them down for you. While Fat Joe is gone, I'm gonna entertain y'all and gonna act like I actually do television for a living. So a couple of things. Number one, I want to tell y'all something that's really important. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready? Come closer. Fat Joe is an adult now. We're the same age. And Fat Joe used to mean introduce an artist or two or three or four or five because he has a great ear for talent. It also meant do a stage show performance.
Jalen.
It also meant
Jalen, we talking sports, right?
Oh, you're not supposed to hear this. I was just telling them, I was just reminding them that you're a modern day BDP. I love you, Fat Joe. Fat Joe, you my brother. I love you. You know you a king, and nobody's gonna tell your story better than me. I've flown to New York and gone to Fat Joe's shows at the Tunnel. I stood there and been a Detroit person amongst 5,000 New Yorkers. I've stood there, okay? I'm a Fat Joe fan. There is nobody that's ever going to talk to you that's more of a Fat Joe fan.
Damn, man, thank you.
What people underestimate about you, you develop talent.
Yeah, that's my biggest, I'll tell you, but before, I got a funny joke for you. I went to the bathroom. It is a little bit explicit, but I went to the bathroom and I thought, being that you is Jalen Rose and sports, I thought of Don King. You know, Don King said he watched
Don King,
only
in America.
You know, yeah, Don King said he washed his hands before he pulls his pee-pee out the piss.
He does. He does. So, and by the way, and I'm not going to confuse the audience, but I just want to throw this theory out there. Your hands are the cleanest before you use the bathroom. Your hands are the cleanest before you use the bathroom.
Oh, that's a fact. But you got to clean. I got, you know, my shit is roses. Let me tell you something, yo, Jalen. Let me tell you something. The league is back. Are you guys allowed to watch the games like at the arena? from like a suite or?
I'm gonna tell you the only thing that's ever been said by Jalen Rose about the bubble. You ready for this?
Yes, sir. Joe per moment.
I'm about to give Fat Joe the only thing that Jalen Rose has ever said about the bubble in Orlando. I would never be there.
You would never play there?
I would never be there, play there, record there, do analysis work from there. Never. Never.
Why? You have to elaborate on why. You have to explain the why.
Yes, sir. It will be my honor to. Number one is I've seen the COVID-19 test where they stick the
swab. I just did it 2 days ago.
Where they stick the swab into your brain, and if I don't have to do that, my plan is to never do that.
Yo, Jalen, I thought it was deeper why you ain't doing the bubble, but my daughter fought me. We had to do it because we're going to the sad news I told y'all about. This show has been running every day for 4 months straight. I've had the honor to come into your homes, your phones, everything. I am going with my family on vacation tomorrow to the Bahamas with the Aronson family. It's a tent. And we're going to have sun on our buns, but the show will have a week vacation. No Jopra, no Fat Joe for a whole week. And we've been consistent. But in order to go to Bahamas, I had to take the COVID. I'm going to tell you something special about this. They stick that thing in your nose.
I'm good.
Hold on. Yo, Jalen. They stick that thing in your nose. And when they reach that, it's so long. When they reach to the point where you like, that's when they really keep it there. They won't pull it out. That's when they hit the spot.
I'm good.
Yo, listen.
I don't know if that's your
I'm
wife.
Sorry.
I don't know if that's your daughter. I don't know if that's your sister. But somebody in your life loves you so much that they're like, hey, Joe, you're telling this to Jalen Rose, but also, yo, this is really crazy.
No, it's crazy. But it's doable. 20, 30 seconds. It was over. My daughter read up on it. She was terrified, right? But I did it for her to be strong. I'm going to tell you something similar. You know, it's off. But when I got shot back in the days, when they rush you in the hospital.
Joe, can I tell you something because I love you? Mm-hmm. I love you, Joe. Uh-huh. I have to ask you a really important question. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'll kill for you or I'll die for you.
I already know who I got to go to for alone.
And Joe, I got guns. I got whatever. I love you. Like, you my family. Like, we ride or die. But I have to ask you a really important question.
Go ahead.
Have you only been shot one time?
Well, I only been shot one time, and it was twice, and in front of my mother. But I've been shot at, no lie, at least 30 times in my life. I got shot at by one guy 8 times in like a 2-day span. This guy was like trying to kill me. Like, and it's in the book. I'm not going to give up that story. But
Joe, but I want to say one thing before you continue. Joe, you're a leader. You're a boss. And if somebody makes you unhappy, you find a way to address those situations.
Oh, yeah.
Is that pretty fair?
It's a fact.
Joe, we're I'm 47. How old are you?
Man, I'm 49. Man, it's getting scary, Jalen.
So you're a little bit older than me, and I followed your career, Joe.
Yes.
Joey, Joey Crack.
I'm with you.
I know a lot of your nicknames.
You got my daughter dying laughing.
I know a lot of your like circumstantial nicknames, but there was a time, I'm not acting like I'm all of this, but I had a place in New York. You had one too. I had a place in California. You had one too. I had a place in Florida. You had one too. And all of those people that knew that you had a spot made sure that they represented your best interest. So I just want to say, as somebody that's like a leader and a boss and somebody that wants to bring positive energy, how were you able to translate Joey Crack, and I say this respectfully, the boss, to Joey Crack, the leader?
Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. The problem is, people before me that I looked up to, they didn't really lead. And the problem, and let me stay on course. The problem with black people and brown people is you always heard this term, crabs in the barrel. And these guys got money and they saw that we were going to fuck up and they never warned us. I'm talking about the pioneer, the people.
Yo, y'all need to put this in the comments. What he's telling y'all is the realest. I love you, brother. Please continue.
So they never really told us, like, Joe, if you open that door, it's a fire. You're going to die. So we had to go through so much shit we really ain't have to go through, because if we had an OG like Fat Joe who explains to these young kids, bro, young rappers, I meet them in the studio and they ask me OG and I tell them the truth. I say, yo, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. I'm telling you this, all right, for what it's worth. And the crazy shit is, I look at my life as an open book. I've been beyond blessed. I've went through so many trials and tribulations, but it's my job to feed the people with as much knowledge as I can till I die. I have to tell them what I believe. Now, I don't have to always be right. It don't have to this, but I have an obligation to talk to these people and let them know what's the real so they don't get jammed up.
So I got a question. So how are you as Fat Joe able to relate to BDP from Queens, Fat Joe, Big Pun? How are you able to give us a message as, and I love you, you're my brother, but I want your leadership. How are you able to make sure that when you speak to us, it's like, yo, this is Fat Joe that has all of that experience, and you're 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grader, and I want you to follow this knowledge?
Well, what happens to me is, I've never sold out. I've always been authentic.
Never.
I've always been about my people. And when I talk about people, I talk about everybody, but preferably the brown and black community. That is who I represent to the day I die. And BDP's from the Bronx, but I know you like me, we sipping that shit. But listen, Boogie Down Productions. And I care about my people. And I love my people. And I want to help them as much as I can. If it's through knowledge, if it's through opening businesses in the community, if it's giving kids computers in schools, if it's giving them just hope, that's what I want to do. And so what I say is, unfortunately, I said this yesterday to Buju Banton, but I'll tell you again. I was asked to do a commencement speech. Shout out to Ruben Diaz, Bronxboro president. To give a commencement speech to a high school that's across the street from my projects where I grew up. So when I start, I say, listen, man, this ain't a speech. This is a conversation to the kids.
Mm.
And I said, and I want you to feel me and open up your hearts. Don't just listen to this like I'm telling you from the heart. I know the ghetto Chinese in the corner. I know Johnson's Fried Chicken around the corner.
Mm.
I'm from here. I'm from the soil.
Well done.
So now when I speak to them, I said, listen, I know a lot of us, unfortunately, have parents incarcerated, single parent moms, grew up on welfare, grew up in the projects, have some parents that use drugs. A lot of people in our community have seen their mothers turn into crackheads, have seen horrendous shit in their life. But guess what, guys? This isn't your future. Jay-Z was from the projects. He's a billionaire. Puff Daddy was from Harlem. He's a billionaire. Don't let nobody.
But Joe, I gotta say something. Those dudes, respectfully, and I love them, there are independent representatives of our community because they're billionaires. It's important for our community to hear from you, Fat Joe, because Jay-Z, Puff, they have been able to put themselves in a stratosphere that elevates them from our comparison. You as Fat Joe still continue to be a leader and a voice that we need, that's very important. So how does Fat Joe tell the climate of Black people that your support and your intellect is very important to trying to build what we're trying to get accomplished?
Let me explain something to you, man. Jalen, you're doing it to me. And let me explain something to you.
I'm sorry. I know, Joe. But
you want to know why, Jalen?
I love you. I appreciate you. And Jalen, I got to say one more thing. Because, Joe, there are a lot of people that can skate off the culture. But you build the culture, bro. You got me leaning back. You got me listening to your verses.
All the way up. Listen.
And I wish I had a beard like yours. Like,
let me tell you something, Jalen. Let me tell you something. Tell you something, guys. Because you always see the finished product. But you don't see the struggle. Jalen, I was so poor. There was times we would wipe our ass with newspaper.
Wow. That's
when summer came out and it was too hot.
I've done that before.
Hold up, Jalen. Let me.
I've wiped my ass with newspaper.
Jalen, this is an important moment.
Yes, sir.
I've wiped my ass with newspaper. When summer was out, we didn't have an air condition, so we sleep on the floor because it's cooler.
Sleep on the floor.
My father is Cuban. My father went when Scarface went to the Mariel. My father went in the boat and brought back 20 Cubans. They all came to New York in the Bronx in the smallest apartment, and they all slept on the floor. When I went to school, I would step on people to go to school.
And they went to the Bronx of all places?
Well, my father brought them to the Bronx.
No.
So the point is,
your father is a boss.
The point is, we come from the bottom, right? And I've been able to see so many blessed things. The people know, no matter how big Fat Joe is, he still walks the streets. I don't have a bodyguard, Jalen. I don't. And I don't
Fat
care.
Joe, I gotta tell you.
Listen, Jalen,
Fat
if you
Joe.
rob me,
Fat Joe.
Congratulations.
You are a HITTER. I love you. I appreciate you. And if this helps, whatever you feel or think, Fat Joe, you don't need any security because you're the bodyguard. I'm sorry that you lost that part of your life, but you became the leader and the hitter of your life. I'm sorry.
Listen, Jalen. So what I do is I never think I'm better than people. I'm always there to inspire and always there to help people. And so the people see that. And I'm going to tell you something we did. When the hurricane happened in Puerto Rico, I was sitting on the couch right there where my daughter's at. And I was watching the devastation. And I seen how Trump disrespected our people and threw towels at them. And my wife, she's Colombian. My wife is Colombian, but she looked at me. She said, "You better stand."
Your wife even knows your name. How did you get her to marry you?
Listen, Jalen, let me tell you.
What did you do? What did you do?
But listen, let me tell you the story,
Jalen. She should know who you are, Fat Joe. I love you.
She knows.
You're a king to me, but to her, she should know your name.
Listen to me, Jalen. Yo, you're crazy. Listen, Jalen. I sit in that couch, and just like I'm telling you, I'm just a kid from the projects from the Bronx. She looks at me, and she's Colombian, and she said, "You better stand the fuck up and help your people." And I said,
"She checks your nuts." Wow.
Yeah.
I need
She does that often. But listen, so I go like this. My daughter looked at me. She's going to stab me. So I turned around. I looked at her. She said, and me, I'm just a kid from the Bronx. I'm Fat Joe the rapper and everything. But I get on Instagram. I actually call Desiree Perez and Jay-Z. And I said, listen, I need help. I want to help my people. And Jay-Z said, Joe, I'll put up the plane. The plane costs $250,000. He said, I'll put up the plane. You fill it up.
You fill it up.
You fill it up. So, because of my authenticity, I get on social media and I say, listen, guys, we're going to meet. Shout out Governor Cuomo in New York, Ruben Diaz. They both helped me on this. I said, we're going to collect canned goods, bottles, women's hygienes, whatever. Come to Jacob Javits. And this is the greatest thing I ever did in my life, by the way. Come to the Jacob Javits place and bring whatever you can. We had Hasidic Jews come up in 18-wheelers full of water. And then as soon as it left, the Nation of Islam came behind them, the Muslims, with 18-wheelers full of food and everything for the people. We filled up 4 airplanes. 4 airplanes and sent it to Puerto Rico. It was 250,000 pounds of airplane.
Joe, you ain't married? You ain't got a girlfriend? You
got a
baby mama?
I told you I got a wife.
Talk to me, yes. Give her love. Give her love. Give her love.
When I met her, it was love at first sight. I was with Steve Lobel. Steve Lobel.
Steve Lowe! My dog!
Steve Lobel.
And Joe's happy. So whoever you are that's about to talk about Fat Joe's love, he loves you really much. Because he put his head down in his hand, he rubbed his eyes, and this is really personal. So I love you as well. Please continue, Fat Joe of Terror Squad, that I seen be a terror when I came to certain places in the United States of America and had to make sure that Fat Joe knew that I was okay when I came to the town. Please continue.
Jalen Rose. So Steve Lobel grew up with her, and he said, we came to Miami, and he said, I got some girls I grew up with in Queens. They're beautiful, but they'll never talk to you. I said, why not? Like, and I wasn't Fat Joe yet. And he was like Fat Joe the rapper. He was like, Yo, bro, she's so bad. You ain't got no money. You ain't got shit. You ain't getting this girl.
And I can't front, Fat Joe. I love you. You're my brother. When I saw her and I saw Hugh, I was like, damn. If I was her, I wouldn't talk to him either.
Yo, Jalen, let me tell you.
If I was her, I wouldn't talk to him either. I wouldn't talk to me either. I wouldn't talk to me either. It's not a Fat Joe diss. It's like I'm gonna elevate her.
Listen, yo, Jalen. So she goes, and I see her, and we pull up in like a van, and the lights, they shine on her ass. I didn't see it first.
Oh, no.
And I said, this is before the fake asses and all that. I said, holy shit. Look at her ass.
I can't stand you, Fat Joe.
Jalen.
Fat Joe, our relationship is over.
Yo,
I love you.
Jalen.
You're supposed to be responsible and disciplined and leader for our community.
I'm trying to tell you the story, man. And so when I see her,
Fat
the
Joe,
most beautiful woman in the world I ever seen.
Fat Joe, I gotta tell you a secret.
I won, Jalen. I won. That's it.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
When I see your relationship circumstance is exactly when people see my relationship circumstance.
Tell me about your wife. Your girl.
You ready? When people see my relationship, they're like, yo,
You came up.
There's no way she should date Jalen. And I agree. I agree. I can wake up with a hard dick. I can wake up with all the money in my pocket. I can do everything I need to do. I pay all of her bills. But when people see us, they're like, yo, she's bad. Jalen's lucky to have her, and he needs to bow down. And you know what? I do it.
Nothing wrong with that.
I do it.
Nothing wrong. You want to know why? Because a woman is a reflection of a man.
But I got to tell you something. Why you so enthusiastic and you so positive about what a man should do, you got to do that too, dog. I know you're a killer. And by the way, I've seen you in California, Florida, New York. I've seen Joey crack. I've seen him. But right now, you got to bow down, dog.
I am bowing down.
You got to bow down, dog.
I am bowing down. Yo, ma, this man big
Your
you
wifey,
so much.
Your wifey.
Oh, she loves you. She says she loves you. Yo, ma, come here. Come here.
Let her come.
Hold up. Come here. Come here. She's going to make her first cameo on here.
I'm giving her all respect.
You up so much.
I'm giving her all respect. Like Fat Joe is 0.
20 years. Come here. But come over here and wave at him.
Thank you for the love.
I love your hair.
Come here. Come here.
So just so you know,
Crazy.
Fat Joe is 0. You are everything.
Thank you.
And that's what we promoting on the show. So I know you don't care about us. I know you don't want to be involved with the show. But Fat Joe gonna have to bow down to your beautiful.
I heard you
support.
Yo, Jalen, man, this show is over, man. This show, that's it. This was the longest Fat Joe show. I love you.
I love you, family.
I think we gotta do this again.
I gotta tell you one more thing. I took a plane to New York City, and I was in the South Bronx, and it was really hectic. And I was standing there, and it was all New York City, South Bronx, like really for real hip hop supporting the movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm like, know what I mean? For real, for real.
Let me tell you something, Jalen. Detroit ain't no punk. Detroit, one of the most respected places in the world. I don't fuck around in Detroit.
I'm in New York. Jalen, and I'll let y'all leave me after this. Jalen Rose in New York City. And I'm like, I got the biggest gun, I got the most artillery, and I love hip hop. And I love what's happening right now. So if I have to shoot my way out of here, I'm willing to do so. That's what it was. I'm a New York Michigander. Just so you know.
Who's the toughest off the court? I know who, but I'm gonna ask you the toughest baller, NBA baller ever off the court that you said if you fuck with him, he might. You know, Aaron Hernandez, they can say whatever they want. He was a killer.
Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson?
Magic Johnson. Dog, I'm a tall point guard. Magic was the legend.
I'm not saying basketball. I'm saying street. He'll fight the whole club, the toughest guy off the court.
I'm gonna give you a street guy. You ready?
Basketball street guy. NBA.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Big Meech.
Yeah, I'm not. He don't play basketball. I'm talking about NBA.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Big Meech played basketball in high school.
I'm talking about NBA.
Well, he didn't make it that far,
I
fast.
want the NBA. We know PMF.
Oh, NBA?
Terry Flannery's my brother. He hit me up for Father's Day. Happy Father's
Yeah,
Day.
yeah.
No, these my guys, Southwest. They my guys. You I want to know NBA player. Which NBA player you knew that had a temper that nobody could fuck with him outside in the street, in the club, wherever he would get busy?
That guy is. You ready for this?
Yes.
I don't think this is cool.
Say it.
I don't think this is cute. I don't think this is hard. I don't think this gives me the hardest dick in the industry. But you ready for this, Fat Joe?
Yes.
I'm actually that person. Fat Joe, I'm actually the person.
Holy Christ. Yo, Jalen, why you doing this to the people, man?
And by the way, drinking wine, and Fat Joe. Fat Joe.
I love you. I gotta go. I believe you. Yo, Jalen, because my battery's gonna run out. I ain't gonna be able to save this. But let me tell you something, Jalen. Alongside of you, not because of the George Floyd thing, rest in peace, Stevie Jackson is psycho.
My brother, I love him.
With my interaction with all NBA players, he would empty out a clip. I had to calm him down on many a nights. He's psycho.
And I want to thank you, Fat Joe, for being a legend, an artist, somebody that spits bars.
Yo, Jalen, let me tell you something. Yo, Jalen,
community.
I love you, my brother. Thank you for being on the big show. We love you, Jalen. I'm going to call you back. Bye-bye.